guys, just coming to you today talking about the Jag PantherII, the Tier 8 German tank destroyer. And what a beast of a tank. I've got to admit though, it took me a while to get my head around it, and part of it was due to its armour profile. So if we have a look here at the armour inspector, you can see that front plate there, it's only got about 100 millimeters of thickness. The sides have got 60 mil, and this is the very important one. If you look at it, front on, that lower plate, only 60 mil as well. But if you look at the top there, 150 mil around the gun mantlet and also the sides there. So getting the angle of this tank right is such an important thing. I really did struggle with this tank early on. I hated it, to be honest. I am very used to driving non-turreted TDs. So that's not really an issue, but what I'm going to try and do in this video is give you some tips of how I learnt to drive the tank and get the most out of it. Look, I probably am not the most successful tank driver on the battlefield. However, I reckon I play fairly similar to most people, and you know, that's sort of where I'm trying to come from with this perspective of these videos. I'm not trying to come to it from an expert player who says you should look like me and be the best player on the field. It's more about saying, how does an average player get the most out of one of these tanks? And I'm certainly going to try and give you my experience of what I've learnt. So as you can see here, what I've tried to do is position myself behind my teammates. Now, I'm not doing that because I'm a coward. I'm not doing that because I'm afraid. I'm doing that because I just showed you what the armor profile looks like in this tank. So if you sort of look at that, I can get destroyed really quickly. And that's what I was doing in the beginning. I was trying to play this more like a Russian TD, where you could actually, you know, at this level, not ISU, but certainly the OBJs, you can push up a little bit and be a real sort of bully in those sorts of tanks. But in this tank here, you can't. You've just got to be so careful, and you've got to pick your moments. The other thing is too, the gun, for a German tank, I actually think the gun's not that great. It does good damage, don't get me wrong, but it takes a long time to aim, and that can sort of catch you out. You're sitting there waiting to aim just like that. I mean, I was on that guy well before he was on me, and he was just able to pop out and just go pound straight into the front of my tank and do significant damage. So as you can see, that wasn't working for me, so I'm coming around the side. I'm looking for a way to get a better approach to one of these guys, and this T-44 is giving the other guy there a bit of a hard time. So I thought, you know, I'll go up and give him a bit of a hand, see if I can help him while he's distracted. You know, I put a couple of shots into him. I didn't get the kill, but I certainly did a fair amount of damage on him. So again, you know, I'm just trying to keep out of people's way and find opportunities. That's a good thing about this tank. It does go fast in the forward direction, but reversing is terrible. It actually is the slowest tank in reverse, which can be so detrimental to your gameplay. So you can see I've pushed up, trying to help Sam out there, who is my platmate in this case, in his T-34. He's got a long reload time, and that time the Borsigs pounded him. But what Sam did was able to reduce some of the hit points of these guys and give us a fighting chance. So that was actually really good. But as you can see, I'm just trying to keep out of harm's way here and get shots where I can. And, you know, it's not the best map for this type of tank. But look, every map's not going to be perfect for every tank you drive. You just got to try and adapt to the tanks that you've got. And, you know, he's pretty much gone straight past me and gone to take on two fairly competent tanks over there. But this is where I make a really dumb mistake. I think I can just one-shot this IS-3 Defender, and boom, I'm dead. So again, that was a really dumb mistake from me. Yeah, I got a great gun and all that, but you know, you just can't drive out into the front of a Tier 8 tank like that, like an IS-3 Defender. You just get slaughtered. But look, we did good damage. Couple of thousand there. It's not perfect, but this game here, I just want to show you a vastly different way of playing, and it's kind of like a way I started to play a number of these non-turreted TDs, which is really trying to use the gun depression. Now, this doesn't have a huge amount of gun depression, but it's got enough to sort of get away with it. The other thing that you can use, well, I like to use, is a bit of the soft cover. Try and wait till the other tanks are spotted, which means that you can then go and find a better position to get some sniping shots on. This tank is really good for sniping, and by doing that, what you can actually do is you can actually keep your hit points. And look, I've complained in the last few videos about the people who are just going out there just getting themselves killed in like less than 2 minutes. And as a sort of an average tank driver in this game, you know, if you're there towards the end, you've done a lot of damage. You're going to give yourself a chance of winning the game, and that's how you, quite frankly, increase your win rate. And I've found that recently with some of these tanks. This one in particular, I found that, you know, trying to employ all the best tactics in the world, and sometimes you're left at the end with all the teammates completely dead, and you're there with a tank that's got very poor frontal armour in terms of the lower hull, and also the sides. The sides are like tissue paper, and the rear is the same. And what that does is it just gives you that basically that situation of desperation. And you know, when you've got tanks like this on your team who are playing the way that I'm playing at the moment, you see I'm behind the line of defense. I've got a whole bunch of greens who are there, and they're doing the spotting for me, and I'm just trying to get somewhere to get some shots on these guys. At the moment, we're one up, and yeah, it could be said they're doing a lot of the work, but a TD, particularly one like this with a big powerful gun, really needs to be able to sit back, remain undetected, because the more you remain undetected, the more lethal you can be. And if you've got any capacity to put in some shots into the enemy, you're going to help those guys at the front line. So it's not like you're not pulling your weight, you're just using the tank for what it's designed for. And a lot of people will rush right up to the front in this tank, and they will get absolutely slaughtered. And at the end of the day, that's not going to help your teammates, and it's certainly not going to help your win rate, and you will be frustrated. And I know it's one of the things that I find you know, happens a lot. So if you're looking here, these guys, there's 4 left, and we've got only a 1-person advantage here, really, or 1 tank advantage. But you have a look here. Look how long it takes to aim, but he's only just spotted me, hasn't even looked at me, boom, game over. So that was really the turning point for our team, killing that tiger, because now the next one's dropped, the whole team's got a bit more confidence, and I was going to come flying in here like a wrecking ball, but we didn't quite get to that point. Well, I actually did. I rammed him, but I accidentally bumped the button that zoomed in, so we missed it. And I wanted to show you this game in particular. This is on the Port Bay map. Apart from my little ping issue there when my frames per second dropped and caused me to drive into a building, you know, this map it's a hard one. You have to have the mediums on your team cover the right flank, and when I mean right flank, it's right over the bridge on the right hand side, because you can see what's happened here. They've already got, you know, a tank over in that area, and what our mediums are doing are drawing their team attention away from what's going on up here. So at this point in time, I just sat back just to sort of observe what was going on. You notice I haven't rushed in like I've been talking about. I've just sat back, done some observation. Right, I can't get any hits on that guy over on the other side there. And what I've decided to do, well, I actually did get a hit then. I waited for him to make that mistake. But what I've just decided to do now is I'm going to have to push up, or these guys here are going to be hammered by their front line, which is waiting for them across the valley, because that's exactly what I'm trying to do to their team. So it's a pretty important thing to know these maps and know what the gameplay usually is like. So if you see, I push up here with the Jag PantherII, and you can see there's a T28, beautiful. Let's stick one into the side of him. Did good damage, and as I said before, start to reverse back, and oops, out comes the old T44. Now, He hits me, I bounce one off the front, bit of an auto bounce there, and now I've got a fully blown T28 coming at me, front on, and like I said to you, he's hit me hard, and I'm in trouble. So I've dropped the adrenaline, and I've pumped one into him, and now I've gone APCR, and boom, 2 shots, he was completely destroyed. Now that's giving me the upper hand because he was the danger tank. Those T28s, if played properly, can absolutely wreck a whole team. So I'm not saying he didn't play it properly, he's running out of options himself, but you know, you have to take care of tanks like that that are going to do you plenty of harm. So that was certainly a get out of jail free card, but if you notice that what I did was I hung back, I didn't rush in, and that's exactly what I'm trying to say with this tank here. If you're rushing in, what you're going to do is you're going to give yourself no options, and this poor old KV4, he gets cleaned up, and that's what I was talking about in the first video. If you can sort of hang back a little bit, keep some hit points up your sleeve, right at the end when everyone's sort of a bit wounded, this tank comes into its own, and it really, really, really gets the job done. So I was just trying to push around and get an angle on him. I knew if I'd travelled all the way over there, he would be dead by the time I got there, so I just didn't bother, and gave me a bit of a chance to sit back and take stock. 2 kills in this match. I don't think the score was absolutely overwhelming, but I supported my team, and I looked after the meds. I did everything I could to help the team get through. So I hope you enjoyed the video, and look, please subscribe to the channel. Helps us keep some motivation to keep doing these things, and certainly it's a lot of fun. Enjoy the game.